$100 million New Jersey Deli fraudsters, father and son, sent to prison. Maybe you better recap this case for us and then give us the update on how it all turned out.
This was just one of these outlier stories I found, I think, well over 2 years ago we've talked about this like this is the fourth time, right? Because it was just such a unique story that this deli tried to go public, right, and raise a bunch of capital.
It's just a freestanding, a standalone deli. It's not even part of a franchise.
Yeah, it's a little standalone shop, and they basically were cooking the books, so to speak, to raise capital and over $100 million. And I told back then, this is basically a Ponzi scheme, the old-fashioned pump and dump. We covered it. Well, they got caught, and we covered that last year. It came down. Well, now they've actually been sentenced after appeals and all this nonsense worked out. So it's a father and son, I think Peter Corker, senior and junior. Coker, yeah. But the kids end up doing like 4 years in prison. The dad, I think, is going to do like 6 months, et cetera. But people lost all this money. It wasn't recovered, right? So people are out millions and millions of dollars. So if something sounds too good to be true, it just might be, right? Well, the lesson learned here is because we had someone call in, Chip, recently here, a company that does some mining right here in our great state of Nebraska, living the good life. And people were like, because of the tariff deal, the rare earth materials are going to come out of our mines here. And so it was this penny stock that's publicly traded that happens to have some operation in Nebraska, and somebody was hosting presentations like in someone's basement pitching this. And so the client called wanting to take a distribution, a very large, and buy it. And I'm like, no.
Red alert.
And you see these stocks go from like 3 cents to 12 cents. They get, look, it's going. And then it's back down to fractional cents. These are called pump and dumps, right? So as a fiduciary, we never will buy a stock that's under $5 that's not on a public exchange, right? Because they're financially, they could be insolvent. They could get delisted from the exchange. There are many problems with this stuff. But anyway, the point here is that's risk management. That's the R in our SMART plan. Do you understand? Things come in, they sound great, et cetera. I mean, let's go back to the Omaha School Board. No fiduciary-based advice, no investment advisors licensed on their counsel, and they went and lost $200 million of the taxpayers' money on absolute crazy investments, and they still have not formed. And I volunteered a couple years ago, I don't know if you remember that, on your show when you were on public radio airways. Get a counsel. We will be not paid. Get 12 to 16 investment professionals that have credentials and experience to at least come in and help you choose these investments. But anyway,
my blood is boiling because 20-some years ago, I was a state senator when OPS said, no, we don't want to be part of the state teacher retirement system. We're going to run our own game. We know better.
By the way, who's going to fund those pensioners? Because the money's still not there. Yeah. The gap has not been closed. So guess what? Another bond deal will be floated here shortly. Oh, wait a minute. Who's going to pay for that? Man, that streetcar sounds really, really good right now, doesn't it?
These fraudsters, the Jersey Deli, hometown deli, they must have been good. I mean, Vanderbilt and Duke were among some of the major investors in this. It was finally a hedge fund manager who said, boy, the pastrami must be amazing at this restaurant because as far as I can see, there's nothing else here.
I love a good pastrami sandwich. And in fact, I've got a couple places when I go to New York, and I'm taking a couple of advisors with me to the New York Stock Exchange actually later this summer. And that's one of the things I'm already thinking about is when you go to New York, there's certain things you got to get is a good bagel and a good pastrami sandwich.